As you get more involved with wine, you realize, I gotta do something about all these bottles. Then you realize, if I'm gonna keep some of these wines, does it make sense to buy just the wines I like? If you're asking yourself that question, you already know the answer is no. In this video series, we're going to look at which wines you should be buying, not only the wines you like and want to drink, but those that pair well with virtually any meal you wish to serve, and those that will satisfy the palates of your friends and family, plus the wines that you should be laying down or collecting. The entire series will include topics like categories of wine by price, categories of wine by nation, region, and varietals, estimating the number of bottles you want and need, balancing your wine, layering your wine, and 5 basic tips for putting it all together. Regardless of how big or small your wine cellar or wine closet might be, by the end of this series, you'll blend all this together, know which wines you need, and you'll begin to make a plan that will pair well, extremely well, with your individual needs. Speaking of wine cellars, if you don't already have a wine cellar or wine room, wine closet, or a designated space for your wine, you might want to check out my video, How to Build a Wine Cellar. That will give you some guidelines on what you need to be doing in that category. Now, in this video, we're going to look at 2 different things so that we're all talking the same language. First, we're going to look at the different wine categories, and second, we're going to find your sweet spot for which wines to be buying. Oh, and additionally, there will be a bonus with a summary chart at the end. Also, keep in mind, at any time, if you like what you hear, click like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when there's a new post. You'll also make sure that you share this with your friends. I'm sure they would appreciate it also. Here's the first thing, wine categories. Before I get too far into this, I want to make sure that you realize when I'm talking about a bottle of wine, I'm talking about the standard 750 milliliter bottle. Overall, there are 8 categories. You can see them here on the chart. If you're starting a wine collection, I really doubt you'll be laying down wines in the super value, value, or fighting varietal categories. You'll probably start with popular premium. Actually, there are some amazing wines on the market under $30. Personally, I get all jazzed up with the premium and super premium categories, and my specialty is finding world-class wines under $15. But if you can afford to focus on the ultra premium and luxury wines, then you'll find some phenomenal options. I mean, you will be able to buy and lay down some truly outstanding wines. The second step that we'll deal with is finding the sweet spot for you. What we want to do is find the sweet spot both from your palate and your pocketbook's point of view as you create an exciting selection of wines for your personal use. Actually, before we get there, let me ask, has the information so far been very helpful? If it is, please write "got it" in the comments below. What we're going to do now is find your sweet spot. More than anything else, I'm talking about the financial sweet spot. Now keep in mind, you can buy outside your sweet spot. Feel free to buy wines you find that are unique, wines that you like and love from any of the wine categories. This is just meant to be a helpful guide, particularly when you're just starting out. The simplest way to determine your sweet spot is asking yourself, what category of wine do I drink on a daily basis? This is an individual thing. Yeah, I know some of you, and I know that every day you drink popular premium. Others of you drink premium on a daily basis. Some of you drink super premium, and some drink ultra premium. So whatever the category is that you drink on a daily basis, that's your sweet spot. If you fall between 2 categories, then pick whichever one you would like. Now personally, I stock the category on the higher side of my sweet spot. In a second, you'll see why. So, here's the big idea behind my approach to stocking your wine cellar. Somewhere between 60 and 70% of your wine collection should be in your sweet spot. 10 to 15% should be in the category just below your sweet spot, and 20 to 25% should be in the category above your sweet spot. As a quick example, if your sweet spot is the premium category, then 60 to 70% of your wine will be in the $12 to $14.99 price range. 10 to 15% of your wine will be in the $9 to $11.99 price range. I would suggest you not stock wines less than $9 a bottle. If you want wine in that price range, then go out and buy them whenever you want them. They're typically not worth holding on to for years. Now, going back to our example, you'll want 20 to 25% of your wine in the super premium, ultra premium, and luxury categories. Now, if you find a $30 bottle of wine for less than $9, in your collection, that would be an ultra premium wine, not a $9 to $12 popular premium. And if you find a buy like that, buy as much of it as you can. When you use my approach, it makes it relatively easy for you to have a general ballpark of how much your wine inventory will cost or is worth. By the way, don't be rigid about these percentages. They're merely guidelines for you to play with. Remember, there is no one size fits all in this. With this series, you'll end up with guidelines, but don't hesitate to adjust according to what is comfortable for you. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know about the different categories of wine and your personal sweet spot. Well, actually, almost. Hang in there for the quick bonus at the end, where we'll take a quick look at determining how many wines and bottles you'll really need. But first, thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. If you got something out of it, let me know in the comments below. And also, hit subscribe and the little bell to be notified when I post new videos. And share this video if it was helpful to you. I would really appreciate it. All right, are you ready for the bonus? This is relatively simple. How many bottles of wine you collect is determined by a number of things. The two key factors are the amount of space you have and your budget. To determine the space, you might want to check out my video, How to Build a Wine Cellar. When it comes to your budget, you can either determine how much you want to spend, or based on dollars, determine how much you want in inventory. Here, let me show you how this works. As you can see in the charts, the key factors are on the left-hand side. Your sweet spot, wine above your sweet spot, and wines below your sweet spot. Across the top is the dollar. This is the average dollar amount of the sweet spot wines you drink. There is the percentage, which is the percentage of your inventory in each category. The number of bottles and the cost or value. As you see here, you can start by saying, I want an inventory of 75 or 250 bottles, or for that matter, any number you want. Based on the mix of your wine categories and where they fall in your sweet spot, you can determine the value. On the converse, if you want to start off by saying, I don't want to have more than $1,000 or $4,000 in inventory at any one time, then based on the mix of your wine categories, that will tell you how many bottles of wine you can keep in inventory. You know, if you have an unlimited budget for wine, I think I speak for everybody watching when I say, what time is dinner? Well, there you have it. Thanks again for joining me. Make sure you watch the other videos that I talked about. Oh yeah, and remember to hit like and subscribe if you got something out of this video. Until next time, cheers.